Man about to return dog to shelter stops after he spots a note. After one man adopted a dog from a shelter, he was disappointed when the pooch didn't exactly take to him. Upset that the adoption didn't really net him a new best friend, he decided to make a controversial move, until a mysterious note changed his mind. Anthony shared his experience on social media, and the heartbreaking story soon went viral. He just moved to a new town. While he was excited for this new chapter in his life, he was prepared to face a bit of loneliness. He was, after all, single and friendless, so he took the natural step and decided to adopt a dog. Luckily, he saw a black lab being advertised in the local paper. According to the shelter, the dog was all good to go and ready to be placed in a loving home. When he called the shelter, Anthony was surprised to learn that many people had already inquired about the hopeful pup. However, nobody had been the perfect fit for the pooch. Knowing he'd make a great dog dad, Anthony headed off to the shelter. Along with the dog, whose name was Reggie, the previous owner had provided a bed, food, bowl, and toys. It seemed unusual that someone giving up a pet would go to such great lengths to ensure his comfort, but Anthony shrugged it off. The first night was rough. Reggie was so frightened that Anthony literally had to pick him up and carry him through the doorway just to get the poor thing inside his house. Unfortunately, the dog's mood didn't seem to improve. Just by looking into his pooch's brown eyes, the new owner could tell something was amiss. Reggie looked sad, as if he'd gone through some awful trauma. The shelter had no answers to his questions. After 2 weeks, nothing in the dog's demeanor had changed. With a heavy heart, Anthony made the reluctant decision to return Reggie to the shelter. Maybe he could find happiness with another family. He went to look for the shelter's number. Anthony began rummaging through the boxes that Reggie had arrived with, looking for the number. Suddenly, he happened upon something entirely unexpected, an unopened envelope. He hesitated. Should he unseal it? Before he could decide, something even stranger happened. For the first time since his adoption, Reggie appeared to perk up. He watched intently as Anthony handled the letter, seemingly wanting him to open it. Anthony unsealed the envelope and pulled out a note from inside. It read, "To whoever gets my dog. Well, I can't say that I'm happy you're reading this letter. A letter I told the shelter could only be opened by Reggie's new owner." There was more. Intrigued, Anthony went on. "I'm not even happy writing it," the note continued. "If you're reading this, it means I just got back from my last car ride with my lab after dropping him off at the shelter." Then the letter took a very sad turn. He knew something was different, it read. "I've packed up his bed and toys before and set them by the back door before a trip, but this time it's like he could sense that something was wrong." The author of the mysterious note spoke lovingly of Reggie. He informed Anthony that he loved tennis balls and could even fit 2 inside his mouth, but he warned be sure not to throw them by any roads because he will chase them. To Anthony's shock and surprise, the letter also claimed that Reggie in fact did have some training. Apparently, he knew basic commands such as sit and roll over, as well as more advanced ones like shake and high five. The letter also contained a warning. Reggie absolutely hated the vet. Hopefully, he wouldn't be getting sick anytime soon. Still, by this point, Anthony was more confused than anything. Who was this mysterious owner and why had he abandoned Reggie? The letter continued on. "Finally, be patient with him. I've never been married, so it's only been me in his whole life. He's used to going everywhere with me, so please include him on your daily car rides if you can." Anthony was transfixed. He couldn't take his eyes off the page, even though what he was reading was so sad. "He loves to be around people," it read, "especially me, which means this transition is going to be hard with him going to live with someone new." Then the writer dropped a bombshell. Reggie's name was not, in fact, actually Reggie. Anthony was completely stunned. This entire time he'd been calling him by the wrong name. The note continued. "He's a clever dog. He'll get used to Reggie and will eventually respond to it, but I couldn't bear to give him his real name. For me to do that was admitting that I'd never see him again." The pup's real name, the author finally revealed, was Tank. Initially, Anthony thought this seemed like a relatively odd choice for a dog name, He would soon realize that this moniker actually contained a huge clue as to the identity of the former owner. He named the little guy Tank, he said, because he was a U.S. soldier, and that's what he drives. Everything was starting to make sense. But Anthony still had one more terrible truth to learn. The soldier, who revealed himself to be named Paul Mallory, had given the shelter express instructions on what to do if anything happened to him. Give Tank to a local shelter and ensure he found a loving home. Tragically, Mallory did end up passing away while saving his fellow comrades in a heroic act of courage. The Army followed through on his final wishes and gave Tank to a shelter where he ultimately encountered Anthony. As luck would have it, Anthony and Tank totally hit it off. They still strive to honor Mallory's legacy through bravery and kindness. In fact, Anthony became so attached to Tank, he started doing more research on military dogs and realized Tank and him are not alone in their unique journey. Please share this story with your friends and family.